Students, welcome to the class on engineering physics. Okay, so we'll be discussing the bending of beams today, and we'll try to give the introduction. Then we shall go for the next part. Okay, got it. So if students will join, I'll continue with the derivation. Otherwise, I'll just give the basic introduction of the bending of beams. What are the meaning of beams and how to analyze the beams. Okay, so let us start the class. Okay. So here in today's class we will be discussing. Hope you are seeing the screen. So the today's class is nothing but the bending of beams. It's nothing but a bending of beams. What is a beam? So you already know it. A beam you have learned in civil engineering also. Okay, civil engineering subject, introductory course on civil engineering. So a beam is a homogeneous body. Okay, is a homogeneous body or is a body of uniform cross section. Is a body of uniform cross section whose length is large compared to the other dimensions, okay. Such a structure is called as a beam. It's a uniform, a body of a homogeneous, it's a homogeneous body of uniform cross section. Its cross section is uniform. Okay. Such a body whose length is very large, comparing with the other dimensions. Such a structure we call it as a beam. For example, I have a beam which is in rectangular shape. So this is one beam I have. Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, class sir.
How. Now introductory kodteni friends bandra it will be continued. Okay, so this is a beam. Okay, so I will draw the diagram here. This is the beam I have. Okay, so these are the if you look at this beam. Okay, this beam is in a horizontal manner. It's an horizontal manner. If you look at this, this is the length. Okay, this is nothing but the length of the beam. It's nothing but the length of the beam. So from here you can call up to this point, it is the length. So if you look at it, length is larger when you compare with the other dimensions. So such a structure is called as a beam. So this is the length, this is the thickness. I will call it as thickness D. Okay, and this is the breadth. Okay, so the B is the breadth, D is the thickness, L is the length. So length is very larger than the other dimensions. So if you have such a structure, we call it as a beam. So here I have drawn a circular beam. You can also have a you have a rectangular beam. So this is nothing but a rectangular beam. It is a rectangular beam. Okay, you can have a circular beam also. You can have a circular beam like this. Okay. So you can have a circular beam. That means its cross section is circular. Okay. Now this is the circular beam. You are getting the point. So any structure where the length is comparably larger, if you take this one also, the circular beam, the length is very large. The length is very large. If you look at the length, okay, this is the length. The length is larger than the diameter. This is the diameter. The other dimensions are the diameter here. The length is very, very larger than diameter. Here, length is very larger than breadth, very, very larger than the thickness. So such a structure, we call it as a beam. We call it as a beam. Okay. So beam plays a very important role in engineering. Okay. So in civil engineering, though, when you study the structure, okay, any structure, okay, where civil engineering structure like homes or bridges, they are all made up of one or the other types of beams, one or the other types of beams. Okay. Now here we will study the bending of beam. So what happens when you bend the beam? When you bend the beam like this is the bending. Okay. So what happens to the elasticity of the material? How it is changing? That you have to study. So in order to understand the beams, in order to study the behavior of the beams, you should know the structure of a beam. You should know the structure of the beam. So what is actually beam made of? Okay. So if I take this structure like this is okay, I have a beam here. So just look at the way I am drawing the things. Okay. Okay. So this is the beam I have drawn. Okay. This is a rectangular beam. Now, this is a beam what you have. Okay, it looks like this. When you look in a horizontal manner, it is going to look in this way. It's going to look in this way. Okay, so just okay. So this is a beam, a rectangular beam. Okay. So this rectangular beam, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, right. So this rectangular beam, okay, what you have uh, is made up of small number of layers. It's made up of small number of layers. Okay, so this is the rectangular beam. Okay. So this is the way the beam looks like. Okay. Now this beam is actually composed of large number of layers of material. This is a beam. So this beam consists of large number of layers of the material. So layers means what? I have the layer here. This is the layer of the material. Okay. So I have one layer like this. So this is the central layer. Like so this is one layer of the material. Okay. Likewise, there is a number of such layers which this beam is made up of. Like this, you have the layers one after the other. Okay. Now look at this, how the layers are formed. Okay, so these are nothing but the layers of the beam. Layers of the. Okay, not only in this. Okay, I mean the layer means it is a. Okay, you can see here. Hope you are getting the point, students. Now, this is the way the beams are arranged. The layers in the beams are arranged. You are getting the point. These are the layers, okay, in a beam. Like, okay, so if I take one of the beam, so these are called as the layers. These are called as the layers, okay. So the beam is made up of large number of layers. It's a, okay. Now this, if I take one of the layers, if I take one of the layers, okay, like this, if I take it outside, okay, the layer looks like this is the layer what you have, okay, one layer, okay, this is one layer, okay, and in turn this layer is made up of large number of filaments. It is made up of large number of small filaments of the material, small filaments of the material, okay. So you have to keep in mind, so it is made up of large filaments. So this is a layer. So this layer is made up of small number of okay. This is the filaments. Look at this, how the material is made up of. Now, hope you are getting the point, students. So this is how the filaments are obtained. Okay. So I have one more layer here. So okay. So these are nothing but the filaments. Nothing but the filaments. Okay. Filaments. Now, if you look at this beam, so the beam is made up of such layers, and each layer is made up of filaments. Okay, so therefore, keep in mind a beam is made up of. Okay, I shall write it here like this here somewhere. So therefore, a beam is made up of large number of layers of material, layers of material, which are lying one over the other, okay. So this is a beam one over the other, and keep in mind each layer, next one, each layer is made up of large number of thin material, thin layers, thin rods. I can call these rods as filaments. These rods as filaments. So you can see here the dark rods, they are nothing but the filaments, and these are called as the layers. Got it? So layers, a beam, a rectangular beam. If you look at the rectangular beam here, this is a rectangular beam. Okay. So this rectangular beam is made up of large number of layers. The layers are in turn made up of filaments. are rods. Okay, so this is the way we analyze it. Now here, if I have the rectangular beam, if I have a rectangular beam which is fixed at one end, which is called as cantilever, so I have a rectangular beam. So I have a rectangular beam like this. Okay. Okay, so I have a rectangular beam. Okay. So this is a rectangular beam. Okay. Uh, this is how the beam looks like. One, two. So if I have a rectangular beam like this, and if I fix it at one end, if I fix it to a one end like this, is one of the layers I have, layers of material, I have fixed it. So I have fixed to a rod. Okay, so this I have fixed to a rod. Okay. Like this. So this is a rigid surface. So this is a rigid surface. This rod, this beam is fixed to a rigid surface. Now at this end, I have some material that I will hang. As soon as I hang the material here, a load, this is called as a load. So the load is M. What happens to the beam? As soon as you apply the mass to the beam, as soon as you apply the mass to the beam, so this is the rigid surface you have. Okay, got it. So it is fixed. So it is fixed to the beam. It is fixed to a rigid surface. This is the rigid surface. Okay. As soon as you apply the mass, the beam, okay, gets bent. Okay, it is going to bend down under the influence of the material. So therefore, it is going to bend downwards. Okay. So I will make sure this is the way. It's more complex diagram. It becomes very difficult to draw. So I will try a simple one. Okay, beam now. I will show the beam. Okay, so this is the same beam now, but here okay, so this is the same beam. Okay, now what I have done, I have fixed to a certain rigid surface. So I have made bit larger so that it is easy for me to do the explanation. Now what I have done, I have fixed it. Okay, so I have fixed it to a rigid surface. Okay, so this is the rigid surface. One end is blocked, okay, and the other end I have applied a mass. So as this is the mass I have applied. So as soon as I apply a mass, okay, the beam will bend downwards. It is going to bend downwards. So up to this point it is same. So it is going to. So this is the beam what I have after the bending. Slowly it starts to bend. So there is a gradual drop in the length. You are getting the point? So I hope you are able to see the curve. Now it is perfectly showing this like this. Okay. So the beam gets bent. Okay. The bend. Okay. So this, okay. So once it is bending, so this is the mass that you have hanged. Okay. Earlier it was at the position X. Now it is at the position X2. That means it has bent this much. You are getting the point. This is the way the beam has bent downwards. Okay. So if I look at the diagram, it's here. So here, if I can see the diagram, okay, from the current slide here, I have the beam. This is the beam. You can see here the beam when there is no load. Okay. What I have applied a load. Look at the load here. This is the load. As soon as I apply the load, it will bend downwards. How much it has bent? It has bent a distance of x. Okay, some value. Okay. Okay. So likewise here I have just shown with the simple diagram which I have drawn in the hand. So what actually happens here is that all the filaments, when the bending takes place, when the bending of beams takes place under the influence of a load means it's a mass that you have hanged, or due to the mass there is a weight, WR force F equal to M into G. This is the mass M. Therefore, okay, as soon as you apply the mass here, there is no mass. Therefore, as soon as you apply the mass M, there is a force or weight that is given by M into G in the downward direction. So, therefore, once it is bending, all the layers of the material, now as I told you here, the beam is made up of large number of layers. Okay. Got it? It is made up of large number of layers. These are the layers in the beam. Okay, so these are the filaments of the layer. Large number of such filaments are made with the help of the beams. You getting the point? So here I have shown only one layer. Okay, there are large number of such layers. Okay. Now look here, large number of such layers. These layers are one below the other. Got it? Now what I have done, I have applied the mass and I have bent it down. So all the layers which are there in the material, they will also bend down. Okay. So if you look at the diagram, there are large number of layers, okay, in the material. So the layers I will draw it a different color. Okay. So now I have the structure now. Okay. So I will just copy the same thing. Okay. So it will help me to save the time, lot of amount of time. So okay, now I have the same beam now. Okay, so I will only show the deformed, the one which is bent. Okay, so what I will show is I will show the only one which is bent. Okay, so I have the, okay, so the one I have here is the one which is bent. Okay, so this is the bent beam. Okay, so it looks like this. So actually the beam was straight. Now this was the actually the beam. Now application of the beam, okay, it has made the beam to bend downwards. Okay, so it is going to bend downwards. So this is the beam now. So what happens to the layers of the beam? What happens to the layers of the beam? So you know that this is the beam. So this beam is consisting of large number of layers, So I'll show the layers here. I'll show just 3 layers for you. So this is one layer. Okay. Likewise, there may be n number of layers. There may be n number of layers. So these are the layers. Now once these layers, once you apply the most, as it bend down, the layers also, they are going to bend according to the beam. So therefore, if I have the beam now, okay, this is the way the okay. Got it. So this is how the layers of the beam gets also bent. Okay. So the layers of the beam also bent. Okay. They will also bend like this. Okay. This is the original beam. So this is the beam when it is loaded. The same beam when it is loaded. Loaded means we have applied the mass. This is the mass that we have applied. So as we apply the mass, okay, there is a force that is acting in the downward direction. Due to the application of the force or the weight F equal to, or the weight W equal to M into G, what happens? It is going to bend down. Now if I take this region in one of the regions, okay, when I bend a beam, okay, so if I take the cross section of the beam, so this is the beam I have. If I take this part, okay, so I will take this part from this end. I will consider, when I consider up to this end, the beam looks like this. This is the beam. It looks like this. So I will redraw the diagram. Okay, so this is the actual beam. Okay. Okay, so there are large number of layers also. So this is a beam. Okay, I will call this layer as A, B. Okay, and there are large number of layers which are inside it. So this is the layers which are inside it. Okay. Okay. So all the blue color layers are represented by the blue ink. Okay, so this is A, B. This is the one which is at the center. We call it as C, D, and the one which is here. Okay, I will call this as A, B, C, D, and this is E, F. So this is the one which is blue in color. They are the inner layers. They are nothing but the inner layers. Blue. Okay. Now what happens once I bend it by applying the load? So one end I have applied the load like this. It gets bent. So once it is bending, it looks like this. Okay. Okay. So this is how it looks. So what I have done is I have taken the small part of this region. I have taken the small part of the bent region, arc region. So this is the region you have. So look at the beams. The beam is bending. Okay. So once it is bending, no, so this region I have considered. I have considered this region. So I have taken it separately. So if you look at the behavior of the layers, it is very interesting. They will give some other information. Okay. So this is the one which is at the center. Okay. So this is the one. This is the top one at the layer. Okay. And the one which is below the center. Okay. is below the center. So this is A, B. Now after applying the load, applying the load means after stress, applying the stress. Okay, that is the mass you apply. Once you apply the mass, it get bent. Mass apply ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, bend ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So once it is bending, okay, so the layer A becomes A dash, B becomes B dash, this is C, C dash, this is D, D dash, this is E, it becomes E dash, this becomes F dash. Now what happens is that the top layer AB, okay, the layer, keep in mind here I will write something, okay, the layer AB, okay, the layer AB get changed to A dash B dash because of the stress that you have applied. Stress means you are applying the load. Keep in mind, again I am telling you here, by the application of the force. In this case, look here, I have applied a mass. Due to the application of the mass, okay, it is going to change its position, so it will come here. So applying the mass means you are applying the force. Force is equal to M into G, or you are applying the stress W or the weight W. Okay. Due to this, there is a bending of the beam. So the beam gets curved in shape. This is the curved shape of a beam. It becomes a curved shape or a circular in shape. So what I have done, I have taken this region separately and I have mentioned it here. Now due to the application of the stress, okay, or the force, okay, or the force equal to F equal to M into G, or the load, okay, or the load, okay. The beam, the length, the AB, layer AB had a length AB, it is now changed to A dash B dash. Similarly, if you look at the second one, okay, the first one is over, second one, what is second one? EF. So the layer EF, okay, the layer EF. So what is the layer EF? Layer EF gets changed to E dash F dash. This is also the same thing due to the stress, that you have. Okay, now if you look at the layer AB, when you compare this layer with this layer, there is obviously increase in the length of the layer A dash B dash. A dash into B dash. You're getting the point. So therefore I can write here, okay, the layer AB, okay, layer AB is increased in length, ಅದರ ಲೆಂತ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ರಿ, ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಾವು ಬೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಅಪ್ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಮಾಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ಸ್, okay, and there is an arc. So therefore there is a increase in the length of the layer AB, increase in the length of the layer. Similarly, if you consider the layer EF, there is a decrease. There is a decrease in length of, there is a decrease in the length of layer AB. Other length ಏನಾಗತ್ರಿ, decrease ಆಗತ್ತಾ. So therefore I can write layer AF is decreased in length. It is decreased in length. Decreased in length. You are getting the point. Layer AB gets increased. Layer EF, the length is decreased. Okay, by just observation you can make it out. So layer EF ಯಾವುದು ಇದು, this is the layer EF, it gets decreased. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಇದು ಈ ಲೇಯರ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ EF. So this is the layer. Is it not smaller than the previous layer? So therefore the length F is shrinked to E dash F dash, while the layer AB gets increased to AB A dash B dash. What about the layer CD? It's very important thing. What about the layer CD? So the layer CD, okay, what happens? Okay, it is changing to C dash D dash, but the layer CD, okay, doesn't change any length. It does not change any of its length. It's does not change its length. Okay, so therefore the CD, the layer CD, this is the layer CD, and this layer C dash D dash, they both have the same length. They both have the same length. Therefore, I can write the CD is equal to C dash D dash. Okay, why? Because length, they are same. Length is same, or I can write that there is no change of length. There is no change of length of that layer, length of the layer. Okay, so you are getting the point here. Layer means it is the surface. Okay, that surface CD is not changing even whenever it is under stress. Okay, when you apply a stress to the beam, okay, this layer CD is not affected. Okay, while the layers AB and EF, they gets affected. Therefore, such layer or such surface, we call it as the neutral layer. Neutral layer, or it is called as a neutral surface. You're getting the point what I'm saying? Now, Prati one the beam, okay, every beam is made up of large number of layers. This beam is made up of large number of layers. Okay. Now, when you strain the layer, that means when you apply the load and due to the load, there is a force in the downward direction. Therefore, it bends downwards like this. It bends downward. Bend agutte. So once it is bending, the individual layers also gets bent. Okay. Now once it is bending, okay, if I separate them, okay, the layers are also bending. If you look at this, okay, the layers are also bending. I have some layers list. Okay, I have marked them A, B, C, D, E, F. And if you look at the layer AB is changing in length. There is an increase in the length of the layer AB or surface AB. The AB gets changed to A dash, B dash. Therefore, there is an increase in the length. It's clearly observed. So if you look at this layer AB and this layer A dash, B dash, it is obviously increasing. Got it? So therefore, I can say that layer AB, there is an increase in length. Similarly, EF, look at the EF. So this is EF. This is the length EF, and the corresponding length is E dash, F dash. Okay. Now, if you look at E dash, F dash and EF, okay, it is under stress. Therefore, the length EF, layer EF, there is a decrease in the length. Now, keep in mind here A, B, C, D, E, F, these are the layers. Okay. Similarly, A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash, F dash. Here, these are the layers. A dash, F, B dash, C dash, B dash, E dash, and F dash. These are nothing but the layers. Okay, these layers are nothing but the same layers that I have discussed here, but they are under the stress. So the under the stress, some layer will increase in length, some layer they will decrease in the length. For example, AB gets changed to AB dash, there is an increase in length. Some layer A dash, EF, there is a decrease in length. They shift to E dash, F dash, while some layers, they don't have any change in their length. Their length doesn't change. CD does not change in their length. Therefore, the length is same. So that layer where the length of the layer is same, okay, that surface is called as the neutral surface or neutral layer. Therefore, neutral surface among these three are nothing but, it is nothing but CD. Therefore, CD is the neutral layer. It's called as the neutral layer. There is no change in the layer. So what is this neutral layer or neutral surface? Okay. So I will define this neutral surface. Okay. The right term I will write as neutral surface. What is this neutral surface? Okay. Neutral surface is that layer of uniform beam which does not undergo, which does not undergo any change in its dimensions when the beam is subjected when the beam is subjected to bending. Bending means it is nothing but the stress, okay, within the elastic limit. Hope it is clear what is the meaning of the neutral axis or neutral surface. Neutral surface or neutral layer is the layer where the deformation is not changed. Deformation is happening, but there is no change in the length. Okay, its dimension is same. Okay, CD is the neutral layer or the neutral surface. Okay, likewise, once you decide that CD is a neutral surface, I can define an axis that is called as the neutral axis. The axis that is passing through this neutral surface, we call it as a neutral axis. It's called as a neutral axis. Okay, one the layer, idu nodri, CD andre enadu, it is made up of large number of such layers. Ille nodri, this is nothing but a layer CD anta tilkononanta. CD ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗೈತಿ, there are large number of filaments. So one of the filaments is acting as an axis for this layer. You are getting the point. So for this surface, this is the neutral surface. Let us assume it is CD. Neutral surface is CD. Okay. So I will take this as C, this as D. Okay. So what happens? I will take one of the axis as one of the filaments as the axis. Okay, as the axis. So this axis is called as the neutral axis. Look at here, I have taken this separately here. See this layer I have. From this layer I have one line that is coming out. This line is acting as an axis to that layer. Okay, so it is acting as an axis to this layer. So this is the CD. Okay, there are large number of lines which are drawn like this. These are nothing but the filaments. So one of the filaments is taken as an axis like this, so which is at the center. So this is nothing but the, if I take this as a neutral surface, one of the line that is coming here is called as the neutral axis. It's called as the neutral axis. So what is this neutral axis? So it is the axis that is associated with the neutral surface. Okay, neutral axis. What is this neutral axis? It is the axis associated with neutral surface. Okay, so how you define this? Okay, so how you define the neutral axis? Okay, so neutral axis is a longitudinal line, along which the neutral surface is intercepted by any longitudinal plane, considered in the plane of bending. Okay, don't worry about the definition. So the definition is very lengthier, but you hope you understand this concept of neutral layer and neutral axis. Okay, so here I would like to tell you something about the movement of force. Okay, that you will learn in the next class. That's also part of the bending process. So there's a term called as the movement of force. Movement of force. You already learnt in PUC, or you can call it as a couple, or it's also called as a torque. It's also called as a torque. So let us go for a couple. What is this couple? Couple andre enri? Kelira couple. Anybody? Students are you there?
Yes, sir.
Couple andre ಏನು ಗುರುತ್ರಿ? Couple andre ಎರಡು. Okay. Now I will give one example. I have a rectangular object like this. I have any rectangular object. Okay. Okay. ಏನಿದೆ rectangular object. ಇದನ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೇನು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಳೆ ಹೊಡೆದಿನ ನಾನು. Okay. After that, it is actually such that it is moving. Even though if I hanged it, I fixed it, it is moving. For example, I have taken a duster. I have taken a duster, okay, and I fixed it on the board, writing board ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Once I fix it, and if I apply a force on one direction, ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನಾನು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದು. This is the direction that I applied. So once I apply the direction, force in this direction, what happens? The duster which is fixed to the board, blackboard, okay, starts to rotate. It is going to rotate. Okay. Now why? Because when you apply a force in this direction, there is a other force which is generated in this direction. So therefore the duster starts to rotate in an anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. You are getting the point. So this set of force, it is called as a couple. Couple is a set of force. How many? Set means two. Whenever you have two equal and opposite forces, whenever we have two equal and opposite forces, that is considered as a couple. That is considered as a couple. That is called as a couple. That's called as a couple. Called as couple. Couple andre ಎರಡು forces. ಎಂತ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಎರಡಲ್ಲ, ಎಂತಾವು? It is such that they are equal and on the opposite direction. So whenever you want a rotational motion, whenever you want a rotational motion, there we have to use a couple. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Rotational motion, linear motion ದೊಳಗ you can apply the force. If you want a linear motion, we want just a simple force. Okay, so I have a force. So this is the object I have. It is fixed at some rigid surface. Okay, I want to move. Move means what? It is a linear motion. ಏನಂತೇವೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? Linear motion ಅಂತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈನ್ ದೊಳಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So what I have to do? I have to apply a force. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ I have a rotation. This is fixed. So what I have to do is I have to apply the force. Okay, so this is the force. When I apply the force, there is a couple that is generated. Okay, this is the couple and this is the force. Okay, got it. So this couple, okay, hope you got the difference between couple and force. Couple antandra force na ada ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ. It is nothing but a force. ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರ two forces which are acting in opposite direction, equal and opposite direction. They will in turn generate the rotational motion. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ rotational motion ಬೇಕು ಅವಾಗ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ? couple ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಏನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? couple. ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತೀವಿ? ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕಲ್ತಿರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೋರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಇದೊಂದು ಡೋರ್ ಅದ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ ಡೋರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ದ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಡೋರ್ ಅದ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಜ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹಿಂಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಹಿಂಜ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡೋರ್. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ದ ಡೋರ್, ಅದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ rotational velocity, rotational motion ಅದು ಯಾವ ಮೋಷನ್ ರೀ ಇದು? It is nothing but a form of a rotational motion. So what we have to do is we have to apply a force to it. We have to apply a force. ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ apply ಮಾಡಿ. Now once you apply the force should be such that it is at the end. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ the force move ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, the door will not open. Okay, you have to apply the force here at the point, and it is perpendicular. That means here you have to apply the force such that this is perpendicular to the surface. ಈ surface perpendicular ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿ ಡೋರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. So here you are actually applying a movement of force. You are applying a movement of force, ಅಥವಾ you are applying a couple, or you are applying a torque. ಗುರ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸೊ ಈ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕಪಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಏನಂತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಕಪಲ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಟಾರ್ಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಅದ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಇಂತಲ್ಲಿ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ the distance and the angle between them, okay, just angle ಒಳಗೆ ನೀವು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ. So this is the angle theta. So it is dependent upon r and theta how you apply the force. So this is called as the movement of force, or the couple, or the torque. So this movement of force, or couple, or torque can be calculated if you know the force, how much you have applied. This is the force multiplied by the perpendicular distance r. Idradu ನೀವು perpendicular distance calculate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ movement of force ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ, ಅಥವಾ couple ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ, ಅಥವಾ torque ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. Okay, you are getting the point? This is obtained by a formula. Okay, applied force, that is force that is acting, okay, force into the perpendicular distance, force into perpendicular distance. Okay, now ಇಲ್ಲಿ movement of force, okay ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ couple ಅಥವಾ torque. ಇವು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಏನದಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅದಾವು, ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಗುರ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇವನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈರ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಗಾಡಿ ಟೈರ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದ 4-wheeler and there are around about 4 bolts, nut bolts, is it not? ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ವೀಲದ ನಟ್ ಪಂಚರ್ ಆದಾಗ ಬಿಚ್ಚಬೇಕು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಗಾಲಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಿಚ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನರ್ ತಗೊಂತೀರಿ, ಆ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನರ್ ಅಥವಾ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್. like this, and you are applying the force. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ? you are applying a force like this. ಸೀದಾ ಹಾಕಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ತೆಗಿ ಬಿಚ್ಚಬೇಕಂದಾಗ, ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ you are applying a force in a angular manner, ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ. so this is the thing, but the force that is acting, so this force is also called as a couple, or a torque, or it is also called as the movement of force. It's called as the movement of force. ಗುರ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಫರಕ್ ಅದ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಮುಂದಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಮಾಡಿರಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಕಲಿತೀರಿ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯುಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ, ಅದಿರೇನ್ರಿ ಹುಡ್ರ, ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಪಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟಾರ್ಕ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆದಾಗ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೋ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೊಳಗ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬೀಮ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಬೀಮಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಿರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಲೋಡ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಲೋಡ್ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಇದು ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತ. ಅವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರ್ತದ. ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತದ? ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್? ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ತದ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದು ಆ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಶೇಪ್ ದಾಗ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಶೇಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಕರ್ವ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಶೇಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಸರ್ಕಲ್. therefore you get a curve or a circle. ಇದು ಕರ್ವ್ ಶೇಪ್ ದಾಗ ಇರ್ತದ, ಅಥವಾ It is in the shape of a curve or it is in the shape of a circular. Okay, therefore we can say that there is a movement of force that is bending the beam. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು beam ಅನ್ನು bend ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ shape ಬರ್ತದ? ಇದು shape ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿ ಇದು? This is in the shape of, what is the shape? The shape is in the form of a curve ಅಥವಾ circular. Okay, ಸೊ ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಏನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತದ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಶಾಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. Okay, in the next class we shall go in detail about the calculation of the bending moment. Okay, bending moment ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ, ರಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, got it. So hope it is clear to you. In the next class I shall continue tomorrow. Okay, very important discussion naalida. Okay, don't miss the class. I request all of you, because I am putting lot of effort. ನಿಮ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಕುಂತು ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ 4 ಸಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹೆಂಗದ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, look at the board. Okay, got it. There is no way I can look at the